I'm Cheyenne. Welcome to Mermaid Reviews. This channel is mainly going to be about books. I read a lot of books. Actually, I read more books than a normal person would read. And sometimes I ask my family and friends if they have any book suggestions for me, and sometimes they don't. And then I try to look towards YouTube or the internet or whatnot, and sometimes they'll have like good suggestions, but then they wouldn't really be suggestions. They'll just be like, hey, just read this book, but there's nobody there to sit down and kind of like explain the book and why they're suggesting the book. So I decided to create a channel in which I talk about books, I recommend books, I will not recommend books. If you want, you guys can even leave me comments down below and tell me which books you guys want me to try. If I haven't tried it, I will most definitely read it and give you my opinion of it. If I have read it, then I will put it in one of my future videos in which I say, hey, this was suggested by certain readers. Certain comments on who wanted me to see them. So, a little bit about myself. I'm Cheyenne, but everybody calls me Shy. I have a mermaid obsession. I have a Disney obsession on top of that as well. I'm currently in college doing an English Lit major, and reading is literally what I do all day, every day. If I am not working, I am most definitely reading a book. Which is why my family takes my Kindle kind of away from me to get my attention, because if not, then I'm on it for the book itself. But my room right now cannot contain any more books because I have too many. So I had to buy a Kindle. I originally bought a Kindle before college so that I could put my textbook in so I wouldn't have to carry them all around. And then it came to the thing where I now just use it for books too, because I don't know where to put them in my room and I don't have space, like at all. Right. So, so how this channel is gonna work, there will be times where I will just review some other things that aren't book related, but it'll be mainly just books. I will try to upload videos every Sunday because I do go to work Monday through Friday. So weekends are kind of my only days off. So it will be every Sunday I'll upload a video telling you guys what I was reading at that moment, or what I stumbled upon in my room when I saw a book and I wanted to give you guys my opinion of it. My favorite book would most definitely have to be the Harry Potter series. It's the first book that I read that got me really into reading. I was 10. My mom gave it to me as a punishment because she saw that it was so big and she thought that I would be so sad because I had to read such a big book. But then I ended up loving it so much. I love it to the ends of the earth. That happens to be the best book in the whole entire world. I will lay my life down to prove that that book is amazing. The movies are glorious. I think the movies were the most greatest adaptation from book to movie ever done. I feel like all book to movie adaptations should be based on how Harry Potter was done. I feel like if you're going to bring a book to life, then it has to be in the standards of Harry Potter. If it's not in the standards of Harry Potter, then you didn't do a good enough job. So, the first book I would recommend is Evermore by Alyson Noel. Okay. So when I first heard of the book, I was interested. Basically, it's about a 16-year-old girl named Evermore who had a horrendous car crash. Her family died, and she was sent to live with her aunt. And after dying, she is able to see people's auras. So she's able to tell you how you're feeling or what you're going through about your aura, and it's something that only she knows how to do. And she can also know about a person's life by touching them, or she can read your thoughts at times, which is a little bit weird. Then all of a sudden, this guy named Damon Augusti comes into her life and basically shapes her whole entire life. This book is very interesting. The beginning is kind of slow, and I understand why. The beginning is slow only because there's a lot of information you need to know. There's a lot of, if you're into auras, if you're into books about spirituality and all that jazz, then this book is really good for you. I liked the book. I actually liked it so much that I bought the series, because it is a series. It's called The Immortals. So it's a whole series. I kind of stopped reading because it did get a little bit redundant. And you'll see why it got a little bit redundant if you read the series. It gets drawn out, and it comes to a point where it's like, just do it. And you'll know what I mean when you read it. It's like, just do it. Just get to the point. It's a lot of curveballs. It's a lot of maybe it's happening, maybe it's not kind of thing. Beautiful book. I love it. I love the concept of it because it's so original, and I have not seen something in the fantasy world, in the supernatural world, when it comes to books. This is something that I strongly read. Most of my recommendations will probably be fantasy or supernatural, because that's what grabs my attention. But it's new, it's original. It has to do a lot with the theory of past lives and the theory of when you die you get reborn, because this is what it's solely based on. Alyson Noel speaks about a lot of being able to tell people's auras and acknowledging that what you've done in the past makes you greater in the future, and that your past lives are who you are now. And she also speaks about immortality, and how immortality sounds like a beautiful thing, but it's never a beautiful thing. It's actually a curse. And I kind of like that, because I normally read a lot about vampires and werewolves, and I've been really into like biker books, like, I don't know, Sons of Anarchy kind of stuff, and it's really weird. So this book is mainly like that, and it's mainly more of finding who you are and being comfortable with who you are, and acknowledging that although you've had so many trials and tribulations, life sometimes will throw you certain things that it thinks you can't handle, but you actually can handle. And it's so focused on that, and this book is so good. But I just wish the series just wasn't so drawn out. It's, if I remember correctly, there is actually 5 to 6 books. I'm currently on the 5th one. Again, I had to stop. I get really emotionally attached to books. I have this thing where once I start reading a book, I emotionally attach myself to it. So whatever the character is feeling at the moment, if they're sad or they're confused or they're just trying to get through it, I will feel that in real life. I will be sad in real life, and my family like, why are you sad? I'm like, because the character is sad, and now I'm sad because they're sad, and I just want them not to be sad. I highly recommend you guys to read it. It does, you just gotta push through the first couple chapters, but once you get into it, it gets really interesting. There's also a point in the series where she goes through a very, very depressive state, and I had to skim through that series because it was making me depressed. Pages. Alyson Noel also has other series, so this series is not the only one. It says it in the back of this page. Well, the back of the cover. So there's more. She's done a book called Faking 19, Art Geeks and Prom Queens, Laguna Cove, Kiss and Blog, Saving Zoe, Cruel Summer. There's a whole bunch more that she's done. I don't know when this book came out, but I do know that it's a wonderful book. I want more people to read it. I actually got this from the library, and then I bought it. So from them because I forgot to take it back. And then they were just like, if you're not giving us our book back, might as well just buy it. So I did. Also, when you first open the book, obviously this is the cover. And then when you first open the book, a couple pages is just her repeating the name of the first book, which is called Evermore. So Evermore is the first of the series. Then she has her dedications, which a lot of authors have. They have a page where they dedicate their books to certain someones. And I love those. I especially love reading dedications. A lot of people kind of skip them. I don't, because dedications will actually give you an insight on what the book might be about. What I've noticed in a lot of supernatural books that I've read is that the people who are in the dedications end up being inspiration for the characters. So especially if it's like, it has like a child in it, then more or less that the author has a child and the child in the book is who their child is in real life. And I love that because it's just like you're getting a little insight into the author's life, page. And then she has her acknowledgements. Dedication and acknowledgements are two completely different things. Dedications are them dedicating the book to a certain person or certain people. Acknowledgements are them acknowledging people who have helped them through it, but the book is not dedicated to them, but they're acknowledging their help. So most of the time, acknowledgements will be them thanking their publishers, thanking their editors, thanking, friends who told them to write this book. I know you've been wanting to write this book. So that's the difference between dedication and acknowledgements. A lot of people don't really understand that. A lot of people think acknowledgements is a dedication, but it's not. It's just an acknowledgement. It's just them basically saying, hey, thanks for helping. And a dedication is just like, you were the whole reason why this came. You are the reason why I had even the thought of doing it. You were that person that was there for me throughout the whole entire time of me writing books. So that is the difference between dedication and acknowledgement. She has the aura color chart. So here, this page, actually no, only one page. Okay, so in this page, she actually writes down with each color and its representation. So like red is energy, strength, anger, sexuality, passion, fear, ego. Orange, yellow, green, blue, etc., etc. She has this page because when you read the book, the main character doesn't explain what the colors mean. She just goes into like, oh, that person's aura is red. She'll say, they're very passionate about something, but she never goes into depth. So I love that she has this aura color chart before you read the series to at least give you an insight on what the colors mean, so that when the character mentions these colors, you're not completely confused and you're not completely like, I don't know what those colors mean, and you're like trying to Google it. After her then she has a quote from Emily Dickinson, which I love Emily Dickinson so much. She has a quote which Emily Dickinson is very known for, is so the only secret people keep is immortality. That quote gives you a huge insight on what this book is about. Again, like I said before, this book is really, really into immortality, auras, past lives, that when you die, you get reborn. It's very, very centered, and it's very into that type of theories. And it's crazy because if you are a very religious person, and if you are someone who goes to church constantly, who's into into his or her religion about God or Jesus to look up to, this book is kind of not for you, because I don't want to say she challenges, but it comes towards a series where they talk about like a heaven-like kind of situation, and God isn't really mentioned, which I sort of like, only because I'm on my own religious conquest of me trying to find what religion I am, because I don't really have one at the moment. So I like that she just introduced spirituality, and everything for her is spirituality, and it's not mentioning anything religious. I did recommend this book to one of my friends who was religious, and I gave her a heads up. Anyway, so I did give her a warning what this book might be about, and how God God and the devil is not mentioned, especially when it speaks about death and it speaks about passing on. Because she does mention about moving on, but she doesn't go into details, especially when it comes to immortality, because they are dead, but they're not dead, never really passed on. So she doesn't really talk about God. She doesn't talk about the devil. So if that concerns you and that bothers you, I don't recommend this book. But if that's something that doesn't really bother you and you're just reading the book just to read for fun, then I highly recommend it. To get out of 5 clams, this has to get a 4. I give it a 4 only because the series will get redundant after a while, and she does drag it a little bit, which I understand why. It's a beautiful series. I loved it. Again, I did stop, so I didn't finish the series. But I am trying, so I will end up reading the book that I stopped at when I get there. So again, gets 4 clams. I will rate every single book out of 5 clams. 1 would be I regret it more than anything, and I wish I never read it. I wish I never spent my money on it. And 5 meaning that if it comes out in collectible, I will most definitely buy it. So yeah. So again, I'm Cheyenne. I hope you guys liked. I hope you guys subscribe. Give me your comments below. Let me know what you feel. And I will see you guys next week when I give you my next video. Bye.